Hello YouTube, welcome to the second part of my desk PC build. We're running two videos in the same day here. So I've already gone ahead and kind of unboxed the Threadripper here. When you unbox this Threadripper in this box right here, there's a little box and it contains your tool for torquing the processor properly, which is extremely important. We've got to make sure that we don't bend any of the thousands of pins down here. It's very important that this gets done right, because if this isn't done right, you ruin this whole motherboard. This has an order on here. I don't know if I hold it up if you can see it. Right here it says open 3, 2, 1, close 1, 2, 3. So we got to unloosen this screw, then this one, then that one. Then when we go to tighten, it's this one, and this one. So we're gonna open this up real quick. Okay, and once that comes up, this door will open, and then you got to kind of get this little slidey thing to come up. And this plastic cover should either pop out, or if it doesn't pop out, worst case scenario, you just pull it out like this. And then you just set that aside. You want to save this though, because in case you ever have to RMA this board, in case you ever have to send it back, you're going to want to protect your pins. Because if they repair it and send it back to you and your pins are damaged, well, whose fault is that? That's not really theirs. So when you put the Threadripper in, I mean, you take it out of the box, it comes like this, and you want to leave it like this. You don't want to take it out of that orange thing at all. You want to leave it right in this thing, because this, you slide it right inside of this thing that held this, that clear plastic cover that I told you to save, and it will kind of bottom out down there. It should ride on there pretty nicely, and you want to make sure that it's in there properly, because if it's not in there properly, when you go to push this down, you're going to damage them pins. So it should just clip in real nice and easy like that. You don't want to force anything. If you force something, you always end up damaging stuff when you're not careful with it, especially things like this. So and then you just push this back down. You start tightening up this one, and you tighten it up. Keep going. I don't know if I'm having a problem getting it started here, or what's going on. Take a look here. Yeah, I don't know if that's sitting there right. Pins are fine. Just making sure, double checking everything over. These things can be tricky to install. Definitely tricky. Definitely want to make sure though that when you go down, it is all the way to where it's supposed to be, that processor. Just did all that. And you know, I wasn't catching the threads there. I'm still not catching them for some reason. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now watch. Turn it real gently. So what's going to happen is it's just going to kind of click. See that? That's where it should be. When we go to 2, tighten that up until we get that same click. We go to 3, we tighten that up until we get that same click. And that is how we install the thread ripper. Now, I figured we'd also do on the same video this EKWB water block. It's RGB. It's a pretty nice water block. First we got to remove this, as the sticker says. Remove before use. It might be backwards for you when you read it. Okay, so we want to make sure that we put the thermo paste on. I've never used EK's thermo paste. Kind of wondering, should we use a different thermo paste? I'm going to put this on for now. You guys let me know in the comment section which thermo paste you've had the best of luck with and which ones you've gotten the best temp readings off. Also, you know, let me know in the comment section. Do you think we should sand the lid on this thing? Get a better thermal conductivity here. I'm just going to use this stuff for now, just so we can get the block on, and then we'll go from there. So I just kind of always go a little bit and then X. This is kind of a big processor though, so I'm not sure if that'd be enough, just doing the X thing. We're going to just kind of go 2 extra little lines there and try that out. Hopefully we don't make too much of a mess. So now we're going to put this block on. I'm going to make sure that we're not moving it around too much, because we don't want to mess with our thermal paste too much there. We just kind of want it to spread out. We don't want to smear it around to the sides and get it all over the place, and you know, but you want to try and, when you tighten this down, because what it's wanting to do is it's wanting to kind of tilt back, and then the fronts aren't going to grab. So you just kind of want to get the thread started on all corners. Once you get the thread started, then you can go ahead and just kind of thumb screw these down. Once you get them all thumb screwed down, which takes a minute, this would be a great time for a message from our sponsors, which is, hey, I'm not bought by anybody, so I wish I was, but I'm not. No, I'm just joking. If I was bought by somebody, you wouldn't be getting the truth out of me about performance. And we want the truth, don't we? We want the truth always. No. Honestly, if NVIDIA or Asus or ASRock or any of those guys start sending me hardware, there is no amount of money they can pay me to recommend their hardware over somebody else's that's superior. It's just not going to happen. Not ever. Like that crap that just happened with AMD and Intel. You know, Intel's been slipping for a long time, and you know, they had it coming. They had it coming. And then they go out and try and, you know, release their product a couple hours early than AMD. I mean, like, what is that? I'm not making any friends here, but AMD, you're kicking ass, taking names, and we're loving you for it. So we got this all down. Let's see. We need an RGB connector. RGB. This is kind of a weird RGB connector. Alright, you know what I want to do? I think I want to wait to hook this up until I figure out exactly where it's got to go, and I got to read the manual a little bit and follow up with that. So we're just going to hang on this part of it, and we'll hook that up at a different time. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time doing useless things, so we'll move this out of the way. And what we're gonna do is, this is a really cool thing here, and you know, we're all about saving money on this channel. I mean, we like great products, don't get me wrong, but we're all about saving money. And these right here, these little guys, they're hard tube fittings, and they work great. 99 cents. 99 cents. You go to Micro Center, you go to anywhere, they're going to charge you $5-6 a piece for these things. You can order them on eBay by the dozens for $1 a piece. You just got to wait a month. I know that seems like a long time, but if you got something else, you know, it might be worth the wait, because if you got to use 20-something fittings at $5 a piece, it's a lot of money. But if you spend $20 and you wait a month, I'm just telling you, that's a little tip for you. So I unscrew them, unscrew the compression part, and then I just kind of finger those in. And then we go take this one off as well. And we're going to kind of cheat here because I couldn't really find the right tool for this job. I don't know what I did with it, but the solution I came up with will work. I do recommend, though, that you guys find the right tool. These fittings have Allen wrench heads inside them to tighten them. If you do not get these tight, they will leak, and it will be a problem, and you will be an unhappy camper, and you will destroy a lot of money. You want to make sure when you put these in that you tighten them right away, because if you don't and you have a leak, there's no going back from that. It's very important to just tighten them as you go, because if you tighten them as you go, then you know you ain't gonna have an issue. Air tested. Okay, and that's all we're gonna do for tonight. Is just, we got the processor on, we got the water block on, we got the fittings on for the hard tube. I gotta do a little bit of research on where to plug this in, and the reason why I say I gotta do research on where to plug this in, so I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but if you look at that, it's missing a slot. Usually those are a 4-pin connector, and for some reason they chose to do a 3. So we're gonna have to figure that one out. I think on the next video we'll add the RAM. Maybe we'll bring a power supply out, add a video card, and maybe we'll just see if it'll post outside of the PC desk. And then maybe we'll go to installing it inside the PC desk. We do have an awful lot of work to do inside this thing. And you know, the other thing I was thinking about, you know, you guys, I want this to be your channel, so you tell me what you want to see. I was kind of thinking, you know, I could go through the process of how to build this PC desk again, and make a whole video on it. I will tell you though, it's just as simple as putting 3/4 inch MDF together, and then on the edges where you got little pits and things, you fill that in with Bondo, and you sand everything out really nice. And once you do that, I added like Luan around the glass right here to create a recess for the glass. And then I went to a glass shop and asked them about plate glass. I didn't get tempered glass. This is plate glass. So if somebody goes through it, they're going to get hurt. Probably would better recommend tempered. Tempered is probably going to be safer for most people. In my situation, I don't think it really mattered all that much. The one thing that I did do that I want to show you here, see if I can do this without messing everything up. Alright. So you see the cutout right there. Okay, so the cutout right there. And then I got USB ports right here, and I got a button, power button. But this cutout right here, okay, what had happened is when I started the desk, it was straight across right here, and the desk was higher. The problem with that is it was too high. It was way too high. So by cutting the center out, and what I did was I put that Luan down again, but I didn't recess it up. I recessed it down to lay underneath the glass. I don't know if you can see it right here. And then brought it this way and around. And I just filled everything in with Bondo, you know. Then once I got it all prepped, I took a base coat of black paint and I painted the whole thing. And once I painted the whole thing, I laid down all kinds of plastic. And I've done some countertops in my home from the projects that I've seen on YouTube from the guy that does stone coat countertops. Now you can learn to do the epoxy stuff fairly easy watching his channel. But if you guys want to see me build another desk PC, just to see how it's done, you know, maybe, who knows, maybe we'll stick the processor and the board and the power supply and do it all from square one. But if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments. If not, you know, like I said, just go on Stone Coat Countertops and see how he does everything. When we get to the water cooling stuff, and you know, I'm showing you guys the inside of the desk, you'll be amazed at what it looks like. I mean, this thing looks amazing. You know what? Here, let me see if I can just do this real fast. Let me just see if I can do this real fast. Bear with me just a couple of seconds here. Just move stuff around. So I have some things, you know, kind of out of place right now. But I want to show you what the epoxy looks like. I don't know if you can see that down in there. Where it is. Let me do this. Can you see that better? Yeah, so all of that epoxy. You know, it took some time to do it. But like I said before, the Lian Li PC desk is about $2,000. This cost me about $300 to build the case. Everything else, you know, is a lot more expensive, but you know, if you have a PC and you have all the parts already, it's not going to cost you much more. To add the extra water cooling stuff, I mean, you can do it fairly cheap. A lot of the stuff that I have in here, like the Helix things, I think those were like $30 on Amazon. You can get the radiators for like $30 on Amazon, maybe 40. The hard tube I found on Amazon, that was 30-40 bucks. And then like the fittings, the hard tube fittings, I got them for $1 a piece, but I didn't have enough. So I mean, you can do this fairly cheap, fairly economical, and you can have a great PC. That's something that, you know, is part of you, something that you built. Also, there is LED lighting around the edges, and eventually I will show you all of that. It works off a remote control. It's plugged in separately from, then it's not plugged into the computer, it's plugged separately into the wall, and the reason why I did that is so I can control it separately. But this has been a really fun project. It's been a very time-consuming project, though. I think it took me, you know, about 4 8-hour days of sanding, bondoing, putting all of the finish on this desk PC. I still have a lot more work to do, though, to get it exactly where I want it. But I'm gonna tell you, you guys stick around and watch. This thing's gonna be worth it. And you guys are gonna look at it and you're gonna be like, wow, I can build that too. So hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, stick around for a while, and get notified when we put up new videos.